that he's got no defense on the money, that the money was illegal, and that he's got no answers, and therefore he must step down. It is alleged that, amongst others, it was Zaman Sol, Oscar Mabuyane, Stella Ndabeni, and them, who said to him he must not resign, they will defend him. But the president has made a concession to his faction and to his core that he has got no moral defense to those things. That's why you see the president can answer both to parliamentary questions or to any question. The president has got no reason not to answer because he has not been charged. So he can't say the matter is, when the matter is in court, they say sub judice. He can't say the matter is sub judice. So the president has got no answer, and he has made that concession. And is held there by a faction that feels, the likes of Lamola and them, that feels that if he leaves, they are going to become a collateral damage, and therefore they will have to live with him. So we are confident that the ANC people will themselves accept that the motion of no confidence must be put on the president if he does not step down. The DA will have to defend the president. The DA will have to vote for violation of all laws of the land. The president has violated all laws of the land, and the president has got no answer even to the DA itself. So if the DA decides to vote against the motion of no confidence, then the people of South Africa must choose what they want. But we are not going to fold our arms when we see open violation of the laws of the country because we think we won't get sufficient support. History will absolve us. That's why when Mogoeng passes judgment on Zuma and Nkandla issue and say Parliament did not play its oversight role, some of us, we don't feel affected because we know he doesn't refer to us. We played our role. The majority voted against us. So we want just not motion of no confidence. That's why we're going through a thorough process to talk to everyone. Then we want a committee, a parliamentary committee, similar to the one we formed on Nkandla. This Nosiviwe, the fact that she's rejecting to form that committee, it's a demonstration that she's defending corruption. South Africa, we had the committee during the investigation of Nkandla. Because some of you forget easily, let's remind you. And the EFF communication, if it exists, it must also help you to go and fetch those videos. It was a parliament committee that went to Nkandla to go and inspect Nkandla. That's when we were shown the fire pool, when the firefighters were holding something that looks like a pipe of a fire extinguisher. They're saying it's a fire pool, referring to a pool that was designed like a lava or something. So who was heading that committee? It was headed by Minister of Human Settlement, Kubaya. We're not asking for something that was not done before. It was done before. We want to go to Pala. We cannot hold the president accountable properly if we don't know how the bed looks like. And if that bed really can hide money or not. We want to go to Pala to check if those couches can hide money. How did the criminals get in? There must be an inquiry by Parliament. From there, it must call him to come and answer. And he can't lie to Parliament. We are not preparing an ordinary motion of no confidence. We seek impeachment. Cyril must leave with nothing. He has violated the people of South Africa. He has violated his own party. I mean, the ANC workers goes for days and days without salaries. A man is sleeping on top of dollars. And those cowards are quite, all of them. The party is going to be liquidated. It's owing hundreds of millions. A man is sleeping on top of dollars. And because they are cowards, they don't say anything. We are not going to be party to that. And we require no majority to speak the truth. The truth will remain the truth, even if it's spoken by the minority. This DA, when we came into parliament in 2014, it was wishy-washy on Nkandla. When we stood up and took Nkandla radically and militantly, took it on, it was this DA that condemned us and called us hooligans and all of that. Because they are slow learners, given the fact that their leader is challenged academically, they are slow learners. They came late to the party. Like many of you South Africans, you came late to the party. You went to drink alcohol, you went to churches, you went to funerals, you condemned the EFF and said the EFF was doing the wrong thing by holding a president accountable. What happened? The EFF stood firm because it knew it's telling the truth. And history absolved in our lifetime the EFF, because the ANC, for the first time in the history of that caucus, went to its own caucus in parliament and took a resolution, which you are not talking about, to vote with the EFF on a motion of no confidence. That's when Zuma resigned. After a night before he refused to resign, the ANC went into a caucus, something historic that nobody speaks about. As we celebrate our 9 years, we are the first party that made the ANC to agree with, in the opposition benches, to pass a motion of no confidence on a sitting president. That's when Zuma rushed to call a press conference and resigned. This ANC came to party late at that time. Even now, it will come to the party. Who said the ANC never agreed with us in parliament about a motion of no confidence? Who could have imagined that at that time? So if it could happen that time, I'm answering the question, do you think the ANC will agree with you? The ANC agreed with us before. Paul Mashatile is the one who was presiding over that meeting. If he's truthful, he will tell you, because he's a chameleon. He likes changing and lying in the process. He was chairing that meeting. They came to us and said, guys, withdraw the motion of no confidence. We will put the motion of no confidence. So we said, no, you're going to vote on our motion. They went back to give a report that the EFF is refusing. We have no option but to vote with the EFF. We are going to see the history repeating itself if President Ramaphosa does not resign. Well, we don't have a police minister, and we made this call a long time ago. But the reason maybe why he's preferred is because he's able to control the police internally so that the president does not get arrested. That's why he can keep his job. Who keeps his job after so many children have died in the Eastern Cape? Who keeps his job with such levels of reported cases of rape? Rape has become so fashionable to a point where it's even happening in places that we have never imagined, like Thohoyandou being one of the top 4 in our country. That's how everybody, including the people who were the most peaceful people, who were not violent, can see a vacuum and they're like, let's also commit crime because there's no police force here. We need our police back. And we need them to come back with a firepower. These criminals are armed and they are not playing. And the police must make them meet their maker very soon in order to keep our streets safe. We have no business with criminals. Criminals who kill people, criminals who rape, criminals who engage in violent crimes must be dealt with decisively. We have a proper police commissioner. I don't know if he's a commissioner, that guy in KZN. No, the one who was acting police commissioner after Riapiecha or before. I don't know why I'm for. He was from counter assault team. He's a proper policeman. He was once an acting commissioner. They must go and fetch that guy to become a commissioner. He's got no business in pleasing people. The one who made an allegation now that during the July unrest, SAB was going to be attacked, and then he got 10 calls from 10 different ministers calling him to defend SAB. And he was asking what's so special about SAB. He never got any call, not even from a minister of police. But when the rioters were now going to SAB, he got 10 calls from ministers. So a police commissioner who can expose politicians like that, you can see this is a fearless police commissioner South Africa needs to deal with all these bastards who are destroying our country, to deal with politicians, to deal with drug lords who are in cahoots with politicians, to deal with criminals, so that South Africa can be safe again. So if crime is now even going into rural areas, violent as it is, then there is no longer a safe place. We grew up being told that crime is in the townships and so on and suburbs. Now it's under control. It's not under control because of we don't have a minister. I really, I'm very sympathetic with that case of Senzo Mewa. You need to get me the name of the person I'm talking about. Ntandla Mkhwanazi, yeah, Ntandla Mkhwanazi. He must be the commissioner of police, that guy, or anyone similar to that guy. I told Bheki Cele when we were in that place where the whites were trying to destroy a police station, Senegal, where it was me and Mkhwanazi came, I said to Bheki, this is the guy who must be a police commissioner, not these things you are offering to us all the time, who are driven by corruption and not to protect the streets and protect the integrity of the uniform. Go and look at Ntandla Mkhwanazi, even his posture. The uniform not the makeup, Ntandla Mkhwanazi, when you look at him, you see a man in uniform who's disciplined, who's determined to deal with crime in South Africa. I'm very sympathetic to that issue of Senzo Mewa. But I'm not sympathetic to Advocate Tefu. He's disrespectful. And he thinks this thing is about him. He has made the whole case about him. And that's why we can sit here to be asked a question about the advocate instead of being asked, how is the case going? Are you happy? We're not being asked about the case. I think he speaks loosely. I've got chickens where I stay, in Polokwane. Hard body. If you want one, I can give you. Mlekwa. Even if they steal those chickens of mine, I will not call Advocate Tefu to represent me. Never. There is no skill at all. There is no decorum at all. He has got no respect for the bench at all. And he deserves no title of an advocate. I hope he doesn't belong to any bar, because if there is any bar, it must take action on him. How does a lawyer, Floyd, say in court this fucked up situation? A lawyer. Wartwaela. He undermines all of us, actually. You can't use such language in a court of law. You might disrespect that guy. But once he's sitting on top there, he's the court. The day he used such language, and the day he has been exchanging the way he was exchanging with the judge, I knew this guy deserves not to be called an advocate. For sure, it's those other advocates, you see, not of going to that thing, what do you call it? I don't think he went to pupillage, that one. Because the pupillage will have taught him the discipline. We can be angry anyhow, but the courts must be respected. If he starts speaking like that to our judges, then everybody's going to do that. And then we'll have nowhere to run to. So I don't believe there is any Cyril who concocted anything on that guy. He's self-destructive, and he's got himself to blame. He throws people's names loosely, He doesn't back them up with anything. Look, we hold a view, and a very strong view, that Senzo was killed. And those people in the house know who killed Senzo. We're more than convinced. Personally, I'm more than convinced Kelly knows. I'm more than convinced that she knows something. And there must be a way she must be held accountable. But it must be done in an orderly manner so that its outcome is not questionable. We're not celebrating in Free State because of ACE. ACE is not a factor in the EFF. We exist with or without ACE. We were celebrating in Cape Town, the Gooks, in Gooks, we're going to Gooks. It was the structures of the EFF in Cape Town who said July is not advisable in Cape Town. It's a rainy season, and not just rainy, but also windy. And also that windy like Cape Town, yeah, push our crowd to palace. So we're like, the speech, windy, so the best thing, let's find an alternative place. So our anniversary rotates. It goes to different provinces. So that's how we found ourselves in the Free State. But Free State is also a correct place because everything has collapsed there. There's no government. Our people live in a sewer, running sewer. The municipality has collapsed, put under administration. Government is still controlled by the RET forces. There is no clear direction of where this thing is going. So we are at home when we're at Free State because Free State is the home of the EFF. We call on all the domestic workers, security guards, the downtrodden, the poor masses of our people to come in their numbers to celebrate their only party which looks after them. I'm still to be reminded in which press conference or rally did I say I don't have confidence on judges. Because all I said was there's an attempt on the judicial capture. That's all I said. But Sunday Times group, it will say what you are saying. I never said that. I wish to be given a reference to that point, that you said this on this occasion. But all I said is there is an attempt to capture the judicial. And as the EFF will never allow that. We are going to litigate. We continue to litigate before our judges. When we are not happy with the outcome, we've got the recourse to appeal until the Constitutional Court, and we'll do that. I'm still waiting for the pictures of arrested Guptas. I'm still waiting. I don't know if Floyd has got information of the case number that has been opened against the Guptas. Because for you to bring them back, you must first open a case and then go to court to apply for extradition for them to, for this one to apply there, for them to be extradited back into South Africa. There's no such a thing. It was too convenient to be told that Guptas are arrested right at the break of the story of Palapal. And they think that they thought we are obsessed with Zuma and the Guptas. We told them we're not obsessed with Zuma and the Guptas. We're done with that page. We're on a new page now. This Palapala will be held accountable, and they've got nowhere to hide. The best thing, they must look for an alternative. They are a government now. Didi Mabuza must be starting to take exercises and start jogging in the morning, because I also saw it looks like the tummy is growing so that the suit can sit properly. They must start warming up. That position is available. The man is going. I can tell you now, the man is going, and no court or any board judge will defend him. The president, even now on Mukwebane, must go. must go to Parliament to answer the questions on CR17, must go and answer questions on suspension of Mkhwebane. He says he will never go. This is a man who were told when he got elected that the most transparent man, the most accountable man, Ramaphosa did everything under the sun to avoid accountability. And you can't love a person to that extent. You ought to reach a point where you say, this we cannot tolerate. And that is that point. We will announce the date of shutdown once sufficient consultation has been made. And that shutdown is not going to be Johannesburg, Pretoria. It's going to be everywhere in Matatiele, in Musina. Once a call is made, no taxi, no truck will move. No single shop will be opened. No offices will be opened. All offices of ESCOM will be occupied to demand the resignation of the CEO, the resignation of the board, and to reinstall, to put in people who have got capacity to run that institution. We don't believe that the ESCOM has reached the stage of hopelessness. There are a lot of skilled and qualified people that can be recalled to come and save the day. But for factional reasons, they will never call them, even if we stay in darkness, because factions don't agree that the skill must be brought back. We will rather stay in darkness because of factional fights. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President. This is the second and final round. If there are any more questions, we're all fine. Thank you very much, President, Commander-in-Chief, the officials. That marks the end of the press conference.